Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Dentistry and Medical. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. Today's topic is about intracranial hemorrhage. The intracranial hemorrhage may result from trauma or from cerebral vascular lesions. It is 4 varieties. 1. Extradural hemorrhage. 2. Subdural hemorrhage. 3. Subarachnoid hemorrhage. 4. Cerebral hemorrhage. Before starting intracranial hemorrhage, let's talk about overview of meninges and spaces involved in the hemorrhage. The meninges are dura mater, arachnoid mater and pia mater. These are tough membranes of connective tissue that protects the central nervous system, and the spaces which form the space above the dura mater is known as epidural space. The second space is subdural space. The subdural space is space between the dura mater and arachnoid mater. The last space is subarachnoid space. This space is between arachnoid mater and pia mater. The extradural hemorrhage results from injury to meningeal arteries or from veins. The most common artery to be damaged is anterior division of middle meningeal artery. When bleeding from internal surface of the skull occurs, it rises intracranial pressure that causes blood clot formation. Blood clot form increases pressure on the motor area in precentra gyrasis, while it can also cause soft tissue swelling. Soft tissue swelling occurs when blood enters through fracture line in soft tissues and cause swelling under temporalis muscle area. In this picture, you can see the extradural hemorrhage. As I told you, the extradural hemorrhage is the hemorrhage or blood accumulation between the inner surface of the skull and outer layer of the dura mater. You can also see in this picture there is a fracture line. If you see in this radiograph, there is the soft tissue swelling and accumulation of the blood under the soft tissues. The second is subdural hemorrhage. The subdural hemorrhage, the most involved vein is superior cerebral vein. Mild blow at front or back can cause anteroposterior displacement of brain in a skull. It is common than middle meningeal artery hemorrhage. When blood vessels torn, blood begins to accumulate in between dura and arachnoid space and cause subdural hemorrhage. In 50% of the clinical cases, it is bilateral. It can be acute or chronic, depending on speed of blood accumulation. Let's talk about acute condition. In acute condition, if the patient starts to vomit, the venous pressure increases. That causes rise intrathoracic pressure. When intrathoracic pressure increases, it causes increased blood size and the acute symptoms occur. While in chronic condition, blood clot form over several months. The small blood clot attract fluid by osmosis and form hemorrhagic cyst. The hemorrhagic cyst increase and expand over time and cause pressure over the area, and in this condition symptoms occur. In this picture, you can see the collection of blood at the subdural space, which calls subdural hematoma. The third one is subarachnoid hemorrhage. The subarachnoid hemorrhage results from leakage or rupture of the congenital aneurysm on circle of Willis, but it is less common than angiomas. The symptoms involved are sudden onset, severe headache with stiffness of the neck and loss of consciousness. Subarachnoid hemorrhage. In this picture, you can see there is a rupture of the congenital aneurysm that caused the subdural hemorrhage. The fourth is cerebral hemorrhage. The cerebral hemorrhage causes rupture of thin walled lenticulostriate artery, that is the branch of middle meningeal artery. It involves vital corticobulbar and corticospinal fibers. that produce hemiplegia on opposite side of body. In this condition, patient loses consciousness, but paralysis is evident when consciousness is regained. In this picture, there is the formation of the blood accumulation and cause cerebral hemorrhage that increase in size and cause compression on the surrounding tissues, and the symptoms occur. If we talk about intracranial hemorrhages in infant, it usually occurs during birth as a result of excessive molding of head. The bleeding occurs from cerebral vein or from venous sinuses. When excessive anteroposterior compression of the head occurs, it causes tear attachment of plaque cerebri from tentorium cerebelli, and hemorrhage from the great cerebral vein or straight sinus or from inferior sagittal sinus occur. This is the end of the topic. Thank you for watching.